Hey again, Marty here with Warehouse and Operations as a career. We work. That's how the world works. I've had the fortune of working in the light industrial industry or the warehouse and transportation fields for my entire career, which kind of spans over like 45 years. I have erred, messed up, been irresponsible, negative at times, and I consider myself more than lucky for making it through it all. And having the many mentors, with their guidance that's been shared to me. If I had to pick one individual that made the largest impact on my career, I'm not sure that I could do that. But if I was asked who made the largest financial impact and setting goals impact on me, it's definitely my first corporate president. I had started with the company as an outbound loader on nights. I was fortunate to be moved to the high-rise order selection department my very first week. I was 6 feet 3 inches tall and loading the mini bobtail trucks of the time? Well, we'll say that was quite difficult. Had I not been moved to selection, I don't believe I'd have made it for the 24 years that I did. I had moved into the warehouse side of inventory control, I guess it was about 2 years later. And that was a day shift position. Then to the freezer side lead, and next the freezer supervisor. The operations side of the company, it was the day warehouse departments. Kind of as a side note, we had the same fish fry party for the night crews that very same night. Anyway, so at the fish fry, my company president at the time called me over to his table where he was sitting alone. Now, our relationship was a pretty rocky one. He had fired me 3 times up to this time. Luckily, he had always sent someone to get me before I left the building. I learned something from him every time I spoke with him, though. So I went over and sat down, not sure what direction this was going to go. He said something to the effect of, "Marty, you're doing an all right job. You've got to grow up quicker, though. Tomorrow, you'll be the director of warehouse, and I'm going to add $100 a week to your pay." I, of course, said something like, "Sure, I can do the job," and thanked him. He then asked me what I wanted to be making in 5 years, and what did I want to be doing. I told him I wanted to be VP of operations and earning more than he was making. I can remember he literally spit out a little bit of his tea that he was drinking. He then said I needed to get back to work. We talked about my goals several times after that, over the next 5 years, and a couple of other promotions. So where I'm heading today is, how much money are you wanting to earn, and what do you want to be doing? If you don't answer those 2 questions, you are delaying setting or even meeting your goals, and that's on you. If you're a long-term listener, you've heard me talk about the many different positions and career paths in our industry. From general labor, the many different positions in the production industries, line workers, assembly, research and development, and then the manufacturing industries, analysis, engineering, electrical, even some chemist educations, and the distribution world, where many of the standard warehouse positions kind of intertwine themselves in all 3 of these industries. Oh, and then you have all the supply chain jobs, even global shipping careers, and the transportation worlds of trailers, chassis, rail, or, the railroad, and shipping on the seas. Your earning potential is unlimited in our industries. So how do you get started? I received no less than 10 messages or phone calls last month from individuals asking about forklift training. I figured we'd start with that question today. I want to share this one in particular. A young lady called and asked if we had a forklift training class where she could get her forklift license. I explained we have worked with organizations and companies instructing safety on equipment. I asked if she had forklift experience. She said no, she was looking at job ads and the forklift just pays more. We discussed how having that card or license wasn't going to help her get the forklift position and how companies needed to hire, from the street anyway, experienced operators. I shared that the quickest way to get trained on a forklift was by doing a little research, locating a company that uses the type of equipment that she'd like to operate, and that she could commit to being on time for every shift. Getting your foot in the door, maybe with sanitation or loading, maybe unloading or general labor. After, being that employee for a while, on time, positive, and always wanting to learn more, or maybe 3 or 4 months putting in, then approach your supervisor or manager and let them know you want to be a forklift operator and ask them what's the next step. There's just not a shortcut. Your management team will start working with you. Maybe in like 6 more months, you can be that operator. Such a promotion and increase of pay in under a year is pretty awesome. I enjoyed speaking with her and was impressed that she knew what she wanted to do and why she wanted to do it. She's doing her target research now and will be staying in touch. All you need to know is what would you like your next step to be. Do your research and get started with it. Our industry is an industry where experience is key. You've heard me speak about knowing the position before hours and the position after hours. That can be your first step. Okay, let's briefly look at a few positions. We'll start with a few of my favorites. Those get a foot in the door jobs that applies to most all light industrial industries. You'll see a lot of advertisements for general labor. This is sometimes referred to as utility work. It can be anything from an e-commerce associate picking and packing apparel or small electronic parts to positioning small wares on conveyors. Almost any unskilled position in the warehouse. One of the great things about these jobs is that they are readily available for us career-minded individuals because a lot of people work, them for a while and then they just leave. We're going to use the position as a stepping stone, though, correct? 2 other easy starts are loading and unloading. Not quite as unskilled, in my eyes anyway, but great entry-level positions. As an unloader, we could be working from a purchase order or breakdown sheet. These will tell us what tie and high or the stacking configurations we'll use to place the cases on the pallet for storage. In many instances, we'll be applying a barcoded label to the front lower right corner of the pallet. This will be used by the pallet runner or put-away forklift operator and the receiver to identify what aisle to drop the pallet for the forklift operator and telling them what slot or reserve location to place it in after the receiver has scanned the product into the inventory. Once we secure that get in the door position, the sky's honestly the limit for us. Where we can go from here, you may ask? Let's see where to start. The sanitation department. Another good entry position that can take us in several different career directions. I've heard of one gentleman that started his career many years ago cleaning aisles and today is a chemist for a manufacturing plant. Like I mentioned a bit ago, the pallet runner, a put-away forklift operator, the product receiver, and a few other positions in the industry, the replenishment forklift operator, a dock hauler position, what else? Stacker, pallet sorter, picker, packer, being an order selector, truck driver, truck spotter. Let's see. Then there's inventory control, assemblers, machine operator, material handler, building maintenance. That opens up a lot of different areas like welders, grinders, line operators. Then you go into batch mixer, quality inspector and quality control. What else? Production helper, die cast operator. And then those positions can take us into the administrative, technical, or supervisory positions like production supervisor, manufacturing engineer, industrial engineer, plant manager, continuous improvement manager. I actually know a guy that just accepted a position as a continuous improvement manager. Lean coordinator, Six Sigma black belt, production scheduler, What else? Planner, maintenance manager, process engineer, quality assurance technician. Then you got control analyst, compliance specialist, environmental health and safety, EHS. That's a good one. Safety manager, regulatory affairs specialist. And we haven't even gotten to the many supply chain and global shipping careers or all the technical and support roles or administrative positions out there. Oh, and I almost forgot about the many levels of management and executive jobs. Today's point being, in our field, the earning potential is ours to set. I've shared many times a friend's decision to be a forklift operator, turning down every other position in the warehouse and many different management offerings. He loves being a forklift operator, and he's been doing it for over 40 years now. He had a plan, and he stuck with it. If you are happy earning an hourly wage with the increases it'll bring, that is great, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. If you'd like more responsibilities, learning something new every day, reaching for more every year, that can happen in our industry. I think the most important thing to keep in mind, though, is you must love what you're doing. If you hit a wall in a task that you don't enjoy, change it. We just named a few other things that you can do. Remember that you control your destiny in our industry, your wages within our industry. Over the next few weeks, I'll do a deeper dive into many of the positions that we talked about today, what tasks they entail, how to get to them, and where each can take you from there. Maybe we can even do a few interviews with associates performing them and, making a career in them. No matter what job we hold or tasks that we're doing, our first priority is and always will be safety. Let's all go home after each shift just like we arrived. Our families will appreciate that.